Hello brothers and sisters, today I will show you a classic unboxing. Let's start it. This is a Rolex piece, as you see. A newer version, outer paper box. Inside we find the classical or so-called classical Rolex box with the big golden crown and some Rolex sign over there. This is a wooden box covered with some kind of leather. Here we have some nice texture. I guess you all know how a Rolex box looks like, so let's see what is inside. And here we go. This is the watch. This is the new Submariner, especially the so-called Star box or Kermit. So this is the one what was presented in 2020, if I remember well. So this is the one what was released after Rolex SUB, the so-called Hulk. I guess you can see a video about my Hulk on my channel, and I have never mentioned before, but please subscribe or whatever you like to do, because that is strange. I have got videos what was seen more than 50,000 times and I don't even have 1,000 subscribers, so please press that fucking subscribe button if you like, but if you don't like, please don't press, because you do what you like to do. So this is the watch. This is the Kermit or Starbucks because of the black dial and the green bezel. This is the new SUB with the 41mm wide case. I will close the watch closer and talk about a little bit, and we'll compare it with my 40mm wide but gold Submariner, because at this exact moment I don't have a 40mm wide stainless steel Submariner in this house, so I have to sorry for me, yeah, I know, poor guy. So I have only a gold Submariner here, but I will compare just because to tell the difference, what is a quite big difference if you ask me. This watch, by the way, is cool, looking cool on wrist, especially on my wrist. I have, maybe you know it, 21mm wide wrist, or how to say, so big wrist, yeah, and bigger watches looks better on my wrist, I guess, but I don't know, the classic elegant style of what was connected to the Rolex Submariner, at least in my brain, my head, my imagination, or you know, my visions, a little bit lost, and this watch is much more a tool watch than the older version, and that is not just because of, or mainly not the bigger case, because not that much bigger, but they have changed the bracelet size and also the clasps, and that feels, or we can say that brought the watch closer to, for example, an Omega, Planet Ocean, or a Tudor, Pelagos, or something, those pieces what are more tool watch likes, at least for me, than the older Submariner was, but the watch is cool. So, by the way, inside, of course, we have got some nice Rolex stamp with the holographic sign. Here we find the booklets and the warranty card. This piece has got the newer card. This is it, how it looks like. And we have got only selling number or selling date here, so that was in 2020 in October. Of course, serial model number, you know, the model is there, 126610 LV, and this is how it works. I guess inside the watch there is a, maybe they have a chip or something. I don't know why they haven't put two information what they used to put on the card. One is the name of the buyer. Okay, most of the, so you know, if you walk into a Rolex authorized dealer, and doesn't really matter where on the world, but if you walk in and will ask for a watch like this, so a new Submariner with a green dial, they won't give you. You won't be able to buy it, not at that moment, and not after 2 weeks, and not after 2 months. I don't know if that is possible to buy a Kermit, a new Submariner with the blue bezel, if you are not connected somehow to the concrete authorized dealer. So not a friend, not a celebrity, not a guy who used to buy lots of watches or golden or platina watches or woman Rolex watches from that authorized dealer. I don't know if that is possible. If yes, that is super cool. In Hungary, it's not possible. I let you know. I have maybe 3 friends already who just walk in to the authorized dealer in Hungary. They asked for this piece, they asked for Pepsi, a Batman, also asked for a single fucking black Submariner with date or without date, and months passed by and they just not get it. I have a friend who was a bit more serious, visited them more often, and he has gotten information for this piece. The waiting list is 4 years now, so you see, this is crazy. But this is not just the Rolex way, because I have another experience. I tried to buy a blue washer and constant in overseas, a new one with the 3-handed model, you know, so the single hour minute second hand with date on a stainless steel case from stainless steel, and there is no washer and boutique in Hungary, but there is an authorized dealer what sells other products too. They are my friend, and even though they are my friend, they told me there is at least 2 years of not waiting list, but 2 years when the factory won't accept order to the watch. So if they would kill anyone, so if they would try anything to give me that watch, and at least by my knowledge and by my opinion, Washer and Constant overseas, what is a great piece, but definitely not that popular like this Rolex piece or any Rolex stainless steel sports model or Patek Philippe or other Piquet sports models. But even with Washer and Constantin, some pieces what could be the most wanted pieces, and yeah, they say that it's beauty exclusive, but fuck it now. They just simply do the Patek Rolex and the AP way, and they told the Hungarian dealer, the dealer not even able to order from the factory the watch from Switzerland, you see, during the 2 next years. So this is really funny for me, but looks like this is the way where watchmaking is going now with some brands. And I can understand, by the way, and of course I hate it, because if I have got the money and I want to buy a good watch, and not because I want to sell it, no, just one. Of course I have watches what I have bought, for example Rolex authorized dealer in Hungary, and I have sold it, yes, because that is my fucking property if you ask me. So if I buy a watch I am wearing, I am enjoying, I took lots of photos, you see on my Instagram page. I loved it, enjoyed it, worn it, and then, yes, I'm a fucking bitch. I see another piece what is more attractive for me, and I would like to buy that. And if I don't have the money, or I find out for example, GMT bad girl is not typically my kind, why in the hell I wouldn't be allowed to sell that watch? Why? So why told me the authorized dealer after that, you are a flipper, you won't get more watches? No, I'm not a fucking flipper. I got the watch, I worn it for months, and then I realized that's just not for me, and I sold it, yes, and I made profit, yes. That's absolutely not my how to say, so not my bad, I guess. Rolex, this is your turn. Produce more watches. Or Patek Philippe, please produce more stainless steel watches. Washer and Constantin, don't joking, produce more fucking stainless steel sports models. Audemars Piguet, please produce more. And then sell it. And won't be double or 3-time grey market times. Of course, this is a huge business. It works for the companies too, and works for the second-hand dealers, the grey market dealers. But then, don't call me flipper or anything like that. No, I'm just a guy bought a watch, got bored or find another what suits me better, and I bought that. And if I'm not a fucking billionaire, but not in a Hungarian way, but a global way, you see. So a real, not really a rich guy in that way, not I don't know, an oil sheikh or something. Of course, I won't have infinite money to buy it. So yes, I had to sell one to get in another. That's all. This is not a flipper game. At least this is how I see. So get back to the card. For the flippers and for the second hand, the grey market dealers, that is better. You are not able to see from now where the watch was sold and to what. And most of the watches already, at least the stainless steel models, were sold to these grey market dealers, the second hand dealers, because they had connections to the, or they have connections to the authorized dealers. I know rumors, not just rumors, those are facts, but I cannot prove, of course. But lots of second hand dealer or grey market dealer give back money, so they got the watch close to retail or on retail, and they gave back to the authorized dealer 1,000 or 2,000 and so on, depends on the piece, euros or dollars, to the AD or the guy who works at the AD and can solve the problem or can handle a new watch for the grey market dealer. And everyone at the ADs know that is a grey market dealer. This is how, just look at the Chrono 24, please, how much new Daytona pieces just has been presented during the last 2 weeks. Even from the white dial, so the Panda, and even from the black dial. Lots of. So there are watches out there. I'll tell you a story. I have a guy who is a dealer, yes, a second-hand dealer. And he has a connection to a guy who has a strong connection to a European countries authorized dealer. I won't tell much more about that. And they were, so my friend has a promise, he will be able to buy, of course not on retail, but on a good price, brand new Panda, a white DR Daytona. And I told maybe I will buy it from him. Yes, way over retail price, but I want that watch. What the hell I could do else? I'm simply not able to buy the fucking watch. I'm on the waiting list since 4 years. What the hell I should do to get that watch? Yes, I paid the fucking over retail. That's all. And my friend went to it's not in Hungary, to a foreign country, and when he arrived, it's in one day, the guy who knows the authorized dealer there told to him, sorry, the Panda was already bought and that watch is gone. And he had the black dial version. My dealer friend got that black dial version. I'm not really interested in that piece, so I skipped it. But this was in last week, and yesterday I was notified. My friends who knows a dealer will have another white dial Panda. So there are Rolex watches out there at the 80s. Of course, not tons. So not 20 or 30 or some like that, but there are watches. Rolex is shipping out watches from the factory, even today and yesterday, and they will tomorrow. There are watches, but you simply won't get it because the second hand dealers or grey market dealers will be able to buy those watches. So that is why for them it's good, and maybe Rolex just plays it for them to not put name and the location where the watch was sold anymore on the new card. I just wanted to mention that. Okay, inside we have got some menu, everyone knows that, and of course some nice thing. Oysters here, you see. We have got here a card what will show the watch was sold in Milano, so this is an Italian piece. That's funny. And that's all. So let's talk about the watch. So here is the watch. So the so-called Kermit or Starbucks, the 41mm Submariner. And this is really nice. If you like Submariner, you will like this watch. If you have bigger wrist, so not a small wrist, you will like this watch. Maybe with a small wrist you will like this watch too. But trust me, this piece is for men who have got bigger wrist, if you ask me. I will talk about the main differences between the 40 and 41. Maybe you all know about this, but let me do this. So what is changed? The dial is bigger, the indexes and the hands are bigger a little bit. Of course, wider the case, but just a small. And the bezel is wider, but not so in diameter wider, but not the ceramic insert. And the color, so sorry I don't have the Hulk with me right now, but the color is a little bit I don't know, a little bit nicer green, so not that plastic like green what had on the Hulk. I like it a lot. This is a bit darker, if you ask me, so suits the watch better. And first I was thinking, I don't know, with the black dial maybe it will be boring, but no, this is totally working. And now I must tell, I like this version, so black dial with green bezel, more than the Hulk version. So this is it. Inside, of course, we have got relatively new movement. The movement is not new because it was presented 4 or 5 years ago by Rolex in other models, but with this new 41mm Submariners, the new movement arrived for the Rolex Submariners. Main difference is a 72 hour of power reserve and not 40 like the old one has, and it has got silicone hairspring, so the watch is much more resistant to electromagnetic fields. And of course it must have lots of other differences, but Rolex keeping this in quiet secret, I guess. So this is how it works. If we would like to start the watch, we have got a screwing crown here. Of course, this is a 300-meter water resistant. This is a diver watch, of course, a tool watch. We can screw out the crown. If we start to wind the watch, we can wind the watch. And you see the second has started to run. Because of the 70 hours of power reserve, you had to wind it a little bit more longer if you want to reach the full charged situation. Of course, this is so-called perpetual in Rolex way. That means this is an automatic watch, so if you are wearing, you don't need. And after a while, when it reaches the full binded, so when you know the spring bars and the springs are fully charged, no other better words right now, you can feel the winding is has some resistance, so you can feel when you reach the fully wind state. You heard that little click? Another. And another. I hope camera will able to record it. So there is a little sound too when the movement, the mechanical movement, jump out that state. I won't be able to explain it in English. I could do it in Hungarian, but sorry, my English is really bad. It's not that good. So you can feel and hear, listen with your ears. when the watch is fully charged. That's nice because the older versions wasn't work like this. And if you click to, you will be able to move the hands. Of course, this is a Rolex, so working absolutely perfectly. You saw the quick changing or the changing of the date, but of course we have got a quick date changing mechanism here. I won't even accept less from a Rolex watch. This is absolutely perfect. And you can just screw back the crown. This is how it works. And this is diver watch. We have got here a green ceramic inserted bezel. What is unidirectional? This is it. This is how it works. This is the sound. Perfect from Rolex. And oyster steel, oyster bracelet, oyster clasps, or not oyster clasps, this is I don't know the name, but the maybe glide lock, and this is the quick adjusting elements, how you can adjust it, of course. And this is how it works, and let me show you how it looks on my wrist. This is it. I like it. It's great and cool everyday watch, and love the green shade of the watch. But let's put that golden Submariner next to it and talk about the differences a bit more. Okay, so if we put the watches together, first you won't see two big differences. The reason is maybe the case is wider. I hope I can show you it possible to compare. So maybe the case is wider, but as you see, the older lugs are nearly double as wide as the new lugs. And of course the crown guard are a little bit changed. So the whole look and the style of the new piece at the case, it's not look bigger for me or for my eyes. Even the size is bigger because it's slim quickly thanks to this slim lugs compared to the maxi case older lugs. So this is it. And if you check closer, but I maybe not able to present the watch. So if you check the indexes, I guess for example the button indexes are slimmer too, so smaller, but the hands are a little bit bigger. So this is strange. Some parts smaller, some parts bigger, but the whole look, it's not look really bigger or different. But the bracelet and the clasps is different. If you check like this, so you see how thin is this bracelet, and it became thinner to the clasps, and compared to that, the new version is how much wider. This is a big difference for my eyes. I hope you can see it through the camera, but for my eyes this is really difference what matters. And also the clasps, you can see the newer version is how wider and bigger, even longer, you see. And the new version is what I am, what for me is much more too much like. And I like the older better because that feels more elegant, at least for my eyes. Even in gold, maybe I would not even like to have the new, because I don't know, I need this slim style what the older pieces had compared to the newer versions. Much more elegant. By the way, all about these, this piece is cool. Maybe if I would be a newborn and this would be the first Submariner I would ever try. Maybe I would fall in love with it, just like with the 40mm versions. Who knows? But this is different than the older versions, so those who have got the 40mm wide, I guess, or I suggest to keep that and try to get one from the newer versions too, because the two watches are different for me. And of course it has got a Lume on the Lume paintings on the dial and the hands. Of course this is a diver watch. This is Búvár in Hungarian. So let's show that Lume and then see you later. In this light, how different is the bezel. I love the shade of the new Kermit or Starbuck bezel. I guess it's better than the Hulk has. Now here is another shade and the Lume started to work. Now here is another. As you see, the watch is looking beautiful and the Lume is already strong right now. Now this is nearly totally dark here. The blue Lume working perfectly. And this is the absolute, oh, nearly absolute dark here. And the watch started to glow. That's the way. That's the Rolex way. So Rolex is perfect in all ways. I'm not sure, I'm still not sure about the size changing. It would be better to keep the 40 maybe, or change the watch to this 41mm and change the lugs to the slimmer, because that looks nice. But the wider bracelet and the wider clasp is not that nice, not that elegant than the 40mm version has got. But maybe that's just me, and feel free to comment below what is your opinion about this piece, about the size changing, about the authorized dealers and all this stuff, what is going on in the Rolex market. Thank you for watching and see you later.